And I thought, will I want to retire here where I might not be able to go upstairs if I get older? Or would I want to go and stay in my mansion in Africa? So this is our journey of
Have you ever felt like giving up because you tried and tried?
Hi family, welcome to my Rose at Home, another video. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome. Thank you very much for your support and tuning into this video. So in today's video, I am going to talk about how my husband and I agreed to relocate back to Zimbabwe. Yes, yeah. So on this channel, before we go any further, we are a family living in the UK for more than 20 years. We came into the UK. My husband initially came about 2001 and I came in 2003. And since then, we've been living in the UK. We didn't go back home, challenge with the documents. So welcome. We talk about mainly our lifestyle here in the UK. Cleaning, I love cleaning, I love decorating the house. So that's what we talk about on this channel. And then the bonus of this channel is our process that we are taking to relocate back to Zimbabwe. We are planning on retiring back home in Zimbabwe, and at the moment we are in the process of building our dream house, our forever house in Zimbabwe. And if you haven't watched those videos, please, I will put a link in the description box of the house that we are building at the moment. And the plan is, eventually, as soon as our children finishes school, we will be relocating and retiring. Obviously, we don't want to leave it too late to retire to Zimbabwe. We don't want to leave it too late to retire back home when it's too late. You know, you never know. Life is God-given. We want to try and retire while we still can, so that we can go and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Yes, yeah. So let's get to the topic then. How did we agree on relocating back to Zimbabwe? Because at the moment we do have people a lot of people that we know. Some people are asking, how do you agree on both of you to agree to relocate back to Zimbabwe? And what I'm going to say is going to be shocking. We never discussed relocating back to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe was never on the table. It was never, my husband never said we need to relocate to Zimbabwe. But I thank God, you know, when something is God's timing is always the best, especially for Christians. We know God's timing is for best. And there might be reasons why we never put Zimbabwe on the table. It's because of our the journey that we took to the UK. And I think since we tried to do as many projects as we could so that we would be financially stable, and none of them, it was an epic failure. All the projects we tried to do was epic failure. And one of the reasons why I could put, do you know, we've got somebody who used to say, Haurime Negotsi. I think that was one of our main challenges. Because of the challenges we had with our documentation, we were not able to visit Zimbabwe regularly to monitor those projects. So I think out of all the projects, we must have used a lot of money. And I can't even imagine to say how much we used, but we tried 3 different types of businesses, and then we ended up just giving up. And then we also tried to purchase a full house. And then the bank, then that was the time when we had the bank crash in Zimbabwe. And then all the money went while it was still in the bank. And then we tried to build our old house. And it took us 20 years to actually build a house, because you're not able to go on the ground to monitor what's happening. So if you look at all those things, it was like, we don't think it's going to happen. And you look at the life that we are living here in the UK, and we couldn't fault it. You just thought, okay, yes, yeah, we are living here, we are enjoying, we can manage to go to work, we can manage to put food on the table, we are managing to eat and drink. So to us, we were quite content in that, even though we were looking at building back in Zimbabwe. But relocating back to Zimbabwe was never on the table. It was like, it is an investment property. Right. So what changed? So in 2020, we were planning on visiting Zimbabwe for this first time in 20 years. And then what happened, that's when COVID hit, traveling. So it was like, you know, you start thinking, am I ever going to go back to Zimbabwe? And I think for me, it was like, those who know me personally would know, I used to say, no, Zimbabwe, no, Zimbabwe, no, Zimbabwe, no. I had already, because a lot of things happened to me personally, to us as a family in Zimbabwe, were negative. So you tend to sort of say, okay, I couldn't even buy a house for us in Zimbabwe, but we managed to do it here in the UK. So UK has given us the best. And don't get me wrong, UK has given us the best life we can think of. And then what changed? One day when we then managed to visit Zimbabwe, this was in August 2022. At that time, I wasn't vlogging anything. I wasn't a content creator, but I still got the footage, which I'm hoping one day is going to be a video that never made it. So when we visited, it was just for a short time, because at that time we had to force it, because I thought I was starting to feel homesick. And feeling, at that time my husband had gone and he had come back, I was starting to feel homesick. And at that time we had to look forward, because the Minister of Transport had contacted us already to say, we're going to be taking your property. So we knew, then we were thinking, so what's the point of going back home, because we don't have anywhere to stay. I know we've got relatives, but I couldn't imagine us going, the 5 of us, and you want to go and stay in somebody's house. And I thought, you don't have freedom. So we managed to find our accommodation, and which was a full house that we rented for those 10 days we were in Zimbabwe. And after we arrived, I was like, I didn't know where I was, even though, you know, you're in Zimbabwe. We went and visited my mom in the rural area. We visited quite a lot of relatives. And by that time, I came back, I was just more confused. I was more confused. And then it was just like, oh my God. And then I remember saying to my sister, I rang her as soon as we came back here. This was in August 2022. And she went, how was it? I said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back there. And then I was telling her the experiences, the things I found out. And she was just saying, oh dear. And then we came back. I said to my husband, that's me. Me and Zimbabwe were done. I'm not going back, because it wasn't a pleasant experience. To me, it was just like, it was, I don't know how to explain it, but it was not, I did not enjoy. And I'm thinking, really, after 20 years of not visiting the country, I should enjoy it, but I didn't. It was just too pegged. We had a lot of things to do in a short period of time. So when we came back, I said to my husband, that's me done. I'm not going to Zimbabwe. And to be fair, I thank God for him, because he never even said, yes, yeah, we need to go back to Zimbabwe. No, he never did. He never even persuaded me or put the topic on the table. That's why I'm saying Zimbabwe was never on the table. And then we come around November time. Then the Ministry of Transport wanted some signatures for us. So my husband had to travel. He traveled to Zimbabwe. And then at that time, we knew how much they were going to pay us compensation. So we started looking for the houses, which I was helping him from here. I think I did a video about that. I was helping him here, I was helping him. And then when I was looking, I thought, if we get this house, we build it, we could just rent it for people who are coming from, like what we did last year. So it's an investment. At this time, it wasn't an investment. There is no relocation back to Zimbabwe or not. You know, when you've lived in a bad memories, if you carry them forward, you're not going to achieve anything. Bad experiences, negative things in life, we need to be able to bury them. So then he came back before the money was released. And then one day in April, last 2023, I came back from work. No, he rang me while I was at work, and he went, oh, guess what? And I went, what? He went, the money's in the account. Because at that time he had opened the Nostro account. The money's in the account, so we need to travel. And I went, are you not going? And he went, no, I'm not going by myself. I need to travel with you. And I was so excited This time, all that fear and all that bad experience that I had, all the negativity, I had put it behind me, and I thought, I need to support my husband here. I've got to go with him. We're going to buy an investment property. So we went to Zimbabwe, and then because the property that we purchased here had already viewed there, I had it on the camera and everything. Then we purchased the property, and then we did everything that was needed. And then we actually came back home. And then after we came back home, on my way, after we had paid the property, we've paid, and I know now we are now starting the process of the lawyers. We're starting the process of making the property in our name. That's when it just hit me. I looked at the house and I thought, oh yeah, it's an investment property. We came back. And then in August last year, we decided we're going to go back to Zimbabwe. And I thought, last year, 2022, we paid more than $1,000 US for a 10-day stay in somebody else's house. And I said to my husband, I know the house is not ready, but if we are going, let's make the house livable. Let's make the house so that we can go and stay in there. And that, because we were going for 21 days, I said, that's going to be almost $2,000 if we're going to use US dollars, if we're going to use somebody else's property. So let's do what we can in the house. I don't mind living on a building site because I've done that in the past. And let's just make it livable so that $2,000, we can actually use it on the property to do some of the other jobs. So we did that. It was done. We went home. And then that's when it hit me, when I was actually staying in the house. So it took me all these years saying, no, I'm not going, stay in the house. And then one day I said to my husband, I can't imagine us after we've completed this house and somebody would come and stay in this house and we don't enjoy. That's when it was like my eyes were opened. And then I was so happy. And then my husband just agreed, yes, yeah. It was, yes, yeah, this is our retirement. And then we just thought, no, we need to finish this house, we need to build it, and we need to retire. So I thank God because we never argued about going home. He never said to me, we need to go home, we need to go home, we need to retire back home. He was just saying, yeah, let's build this. It's an investment that we can use when we retire. It's our pension. But you know, after I stayed there, like now, I am obsessed about Zimbabwe. It is my country. I've loved it. But the reason what made me not to want to go there, it was personal experiences, which everybody's situation is different. But I thank God when it's God timing, my mindset just changed at the right time. And it took me just to live in my house for me to be able to say, yes, yeah, this is my house. This is my house. I want to own it. I want to come back here and enjoy. And then at that time, that's when, you know, when you are blinded, you don't see some of the things. That's when I started comparing the house. And I remember the first day when we went with the children, when we showed them, this is your bedroom, this is your bedroom. Yakin he just jumped. He said, Mom, are you for real? And I went, yes, yeah, am I going to be staying in this bedroom by myself? I went, yes, that is your bedroom. And Mercy was so happy because she's got the bedroom with the ensuite and everything. And the boys were happy that the bathroom is just for them too. That's when we started educating them about our country. We've got land in Zimbabwe. You can choose to have a bigger house. You can choose to have a smaller house. So this is what was our journey and how we come up with the decision. Obviously, I've done a video with the reasons why. That's when I started thinking more about why where can I retire? And then I'm looking at Zimbabwe. Yes, yeah, the economy is not good. The systems are not good. There is a lot of things. And then I looked at here. I thought, I need to have an open mind here over just being blinded. Yes, yeah, this country, I appreciate it. It's done loads for us. It has elevated us. We've been able to buy and build in Zimbabwe. We're able to purchase a property here in the UK. So I thought I was able to go to school, and we did loads. We did loads of things. But it's coming a time where we need to rest now. We need to rest and enjoy. And I thought, will I want to retire here, where I might not be able to go upstairs if I get older? Or would I want to go and stay in my mansion in Africa? So this is our journey. of decision making on how we agreed to go. Maybe my husband has always thought about it, but to me it was like, and he was sympathizing because some of the experiences were quite personal, and you just think, which I'm going, if I manage one day, I am going to share with you my journey to the UK. For those who know, they know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So, you know, we go through life experiences that might make us blind. I was reading a quote the other day which was saying, if a chapter in the book is giving you bad experiences, do not close that book completely. Open to the next page, because you don't know what the next page is going to bring for you. So this is how I view life now. If something has given me the negative things, I'm not going to close that chapter. I'm just going to move on and see. It's like my previous video when I was talking about my childhood, and I said I'm going to talk about the positive things mainly, because life has got a tendency of throwing lemons at you, but it's what you use with that information. So life has thrown something negative. Are you going to dwell on that negative thing, or you're actually going to move on and progress? So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video, you've enjoyed this video, and I'm always saying Zimbabwe was never on the table. It was never a topic that we sat down, we discussed, because I had made it clear to my husband to say, I am not going back to Zimbabwe. And I meant it at the time. I had, you know, if we are going to speak in a Shona word, if I find an English word for it, I'm going to put it on the screen. But ndakangenda furatira nyika yedu. But it came a time when I started being homesick, up to the point that I couldn't contain that homesickness inside me. And now it's exploded. It's overflowing. That's why you see me. I get excited when I'm talking about retiring to Zimbabwe. I get excited even thinking a call to say, today the builders have done this. I get excited, you know, like a child. It's like I've wasted some of my years, closed up myself, but now it's now bubbling. It's now. As I conclude this video, I'm going to leave you with one piece of advice or two. Communication is the key to success. If you are living together as a husband and wife, it's being open and honest to each other how we feel. It might not be just for relocating back to Zimbabwe or back somewhere, but in anything that you do as a couple, you need to be able to communicate effectively, and then giving each other time and to process anything so that you can both make decision together. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. See you again in the next video. Bye.